Welcome. You're tuned into Tangled Threads. If you're digging our content, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you. So, I never thought I'd be the one to spill my guts on the internet, but here I am. Life's got a weird way of kicking you when you least expect it, and I guess it's my turn now. I'm not looking for anyone to pat me on the back or tell me it's going to be okay. I just need to get this story off my chest, maybe as a warning or just to finally admit to myself how much I've screwed up. Me and my husband, let's call him Mark. For the post's sake, we've been through a lot together. We're that couple who used to believe we could get through anything as long as we were together. But man, did I put that to the test. A while back I decided to get a tubal ligation. It was a big decision, and Mark was supportive, or at least I thought he was. The thing is, after the surgery, when I was all kinds of sore and just wanted some comfort, Mark became distant. He said it was because he didn't want to hurt me, that we needed to wait until I was fully recovered. I got that logically, but emotionally, I felt rejected and alone. One night, feeling especially low, I ended up doing the unthinkable. I cheated on Mark. It wasn't planned, it wasn't even something I enjoyed. It was just a moment of feeling wanted at a time when I felt anything but. The guilt hit me like a ton of bricks right after. I knew I had to come clean, hoping somehow we could work through it. Telling Mark was the hardest thing I've ever done. He didn't yell. He didn't scream. He just went quiet. And somehow, that was worse. After a long, painful discussion, we decided that divorce was the only way forward. It felt like my heart was being ripped out, but I knew I had only myself to blame. As if to add insult to injury, a few weeks after our decision, I started feeling off and went to the doctor, only to find out that I had caused myself some minor complications from my adventure. Nothing life-threatening, but it meant more medical intervention and, yep, no physical intimacy for even longer. Sitting here now, typing this out, I'm not looking for pity. I messed up royally. I broke the trust of the one person who stood by me through everything. And for what? A moment of feeling wanted? The cost was too high, and now I'm paying the price. I guess the reason I'm sharing this is as a sort of cautionary tale. It's so easy to make a decision in the heat of a moment that can unravel your life. I learned the hard way that communication, no matter how hard, is always better than seeking a temporary fix. I've lost Mark, and I've got a long road of healing ahead of me, both physically and emotionally. To anyone reading this, if you're going through a tough time with your partner, talk to them, be honest with your feelings, and try to work through it together. Don't make the same mistake I did. It's not worth it. Update. Hey everyone. A few months ago, I shared my mess of a story here about how I screwed up my marriage by doing something really stupid because I was feeling lonely and rejected. It was a tough pill to swallow, admitting my faults and facing the reality that I had lost Mark, the guy I thought I'd spend the rest of my life with. And yeah, there's our kid in the mix too, which makes everything 10 times more complicated. After I healed up from the medical issues that came up because of my, let's call it a lapse in judgment, I started thinking maybe Mark and I could try again. I know, wishful thinking after everything I'd done, but I couldn't help it. I missed him, our family, our life together. So I reached out, tried to talk to him about possibly giving us another shot. Well, turns out he had moved on. And not just moved on, but he was seeing someone else. Someone serious. It felt like a slap in the face. Here I was, hoping we could mend things for the sake of our family, and he had already replaced me. I know I'm not in any position to be mad, but I can't help feeling a little bit bitter. How could he move on so quickly? Especially when there's a kid involved. I mean, we've been trying to keep things civil for our child's sake, and I don't want to get into the whole legal side of things because, trust me, it's complicated. I won't dive into the details, but just know it's a mess. I'm not keen on making mess here. Seeing him move on so fast, it's been a wake-up call in the worst way. It made me realize that there's no going back. What I did can't be undone, and the consequences of my actions are something I'm going to have to live with. I lost my chance at fixing things, and now I have to figure out how to move forward on my own, how to be a good mom amidst this chaos, and how to forgive myself, which right now feels impossible. This update isn't the redemption arc I was hoping to share. It's more of a reality check, a reminder that actions have consequences, and sometimes you don't get a do-over. I'm trying to learn from this, to be better, for my kid, if not for me. To anyone reading this, hold on to what you've got if it's worth fighting for, and don't make the same mistakes I did. Here's a pretty awesome comment she received. I've read through your original post and this update, and while I understand the urge to seek solace in sharing and perhaps finding some kind of understanding or even forgiveness here, there's a hard truth that needs to be faced. You made a series of choices that led to the current situation. It's not about vilifying you or kicking you while you're down, but about acknowledging the responsibility for those actions and their consequences. Mark moving on isn't a slap in the face. It's a natural progression of life after a betrayal. The fact that there's a child involved complicates matters, but it doesn't automatically mean he should have waited indefinitely for you to heal and decide you wanted to try again. Healing and moving forward are personal journeys, and they don't always align with our timelines or wishes. Your frustration and bitterness, while understandable on a human level, overlook a critical point: accountability. It's essential to not only recognize where you went wrong, but also to understand that part of Mark's healing process might involve moving on to someone else who hasn't hurt him in such a profound way. That's not a reflection of how quickly he's moved on, but rather how deeply the actions affected him and his path to finding peace. It's good that you're focusing on being a better mom and working on forgiving yourself. However, part of that journey is also respecting Mark's journey and his decisions post-divorce, however much they may hurt. Life is about learning from our mistakes, and sometimes the lessons are much harsher than we'd like. I hope you find a way to learn from this and grow, not just for your sake, but for your child's as well. They deserve a future where their parents, despite not being together, can find a way to coexist peacefully and healthily for their well-being. Honestly, your story reads like a textbook case of playing with fire and then being shocked when you get burned. Mark moving on isn't a betrayal. It's him picking up the pieces of his life after you shattered it. You cheated, you confessed, and then expected what? A pause button on life until you decided you were ready to try again? That's not how it works. Life, especially after betrayal, moves on. It's time to face the music and realize that your actions have consequences that extend far beyond your own immediate regret and pain. This isn't about being harsh, it's about waking up to reality. Now focus on being a good parent and learning from this massive mistake. That's the best next step, not dwelling on how fast Mark moved on. He's living his life, and it's time you started genuinely rebuilding yours, with accountability and maturity. Oh wow, I almost thought she wasn't going to cheat and be loyal. Psych. I think we all know where these go by now. I'm waiting for the day we get a happy ending for once. Jesus. Anyways, let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.